Hello everybody, welcome back. Thank you for joining me for another video. All right, today's video is going to be all about blobs. So blob painting, I have tried it out. It's kind of fun. And so my inspiration for blobs obviously is from Massey Art Studios. Lee has been obsessed with blobs. And he did blob classes in Texas at the Fluid Art Experience. And it was really neat seeing everyone's creations at the end of the event. And so I decided to give it a try. And obviously you guys have already seen this, but this was my first blob attempt. So a lot of you saw it and I asked you guys if you wanted to see a tutorial on how to blob. And a lot of you said yes, so that's what we are doing today. I'm going to be doing a blob tutorial. So yeah, I don't have anything else to show you. This is like a pre-recorded intro. The blob painting is days upon days of layers and all kinds of work. So it's not like a Dutch pour where I do it, it's finished and we're done. This is a multi-step process. So this is like recorded over 2 weeks worth of time, right? So anywho, don't forget, I am going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina with Tammy Anderson this February. If you are interested in joining some workshop classes and learning how to do blooms, Dutch pours, swipes, you know, that kind of stuff. I'm teaching all kinds of Dutch pours, white base, black base, color split base. Tammy's going to be teaching a resin class. So if you are interested in attending and coming to see us in Charlotte, North Carolina, that's February 18th and 19th. You can email us at fluidartescape@gmail.com for more info. Or if you're in the West Coast and you want to come and see me in the West Coast, I will be there with Fluid Art Experience. There's going to be a bunch of other artists there as well. That's April 27th to the 29th in Seattle, Washington. If you want to come and see me in Seattle, go to www.fluidartexperience.com for all the info and details. All right, let's get started on today's blob painting. All right, everybody, so let's get started on the things that we're going to need to do this blob painting. I was trying to think of something else other than to call it a blob, because blob just sounds so bizarre. But I'm trying to think of different words to use. Blob, I don't know. I'm going to think about it. But I'm open to suggestions. or like, you know, not tips, open to suggestions, thoughts, you know, that kind of stuff, opinions. Anywho, so you're going to need three things. You're going to need your Mod Podge. I got this from Amazon. Michael sells it. I'm sure you can find it all over the place. I get the big tub because you're going to need a lot of it. And so I just got the bigger one. Better bang for your buck. And then you're going to need some Liquitex high gloss varnish. And I actually happen to have about a ton of these because back in the day when I used to varnish, I had stocked up and I never used it again because then I, you know, started using resin. And I've got like 4 or 5 of these. So talk about good thing to have. So I now have... sorry, I got a text and I got distracted. My husband is heading out to the office. Anywho, so Mod Podge and high gloss varnish, okay, by Liquitex, and then of course your paints. So when you saw the blue blob painting, actually it's over here. Let me see if I can get it. Oh, here we go. So this is the blue blob minimalistic first attempt that I made. So I used all Arteza pearl paints for this. So that's why they've got the nice shimmer to them, which by the way, this is available for purchase. So I used Arteza paints, but here's the thing. You need to use a lot of paint because the blobs are a lot of paint. So For me here in Canada, using Arteza, getting Arteza is hard because Arteza doesn't ship to Canada. So I have to buy it off Amazon. And on Amazon, it costs an arm and a leg. So I have to be very frugal with my Arteza. So I'm not going to use Arteza. I'm going to use Pebeo paints today. And the reason being is because now you can do this on a canvas. You can do it on a cradle wood board like I just showed you. You know, Lee and Jeremy from Massey Art Studio, they do them. I've seen them do it on canvases. They paint the canvas first with like a black base or whatever color base they want it to be. I'm going to work on another wood board, okay? So this is a 12-inch board that I did resin on during one of my resin workshops here at my home studio. And I had it available for purchase, and it's just still sitting here around. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to blob on it because it just really looks cool. And it's got like all metallic pigment on it. So I thought, what a cool base background this would be for a blob painting. So instead of a plain base, I'm now going to try and see what it's going to look like on a base that has a design on it. So this has gold, green, blue, pink, and purple. And so I've got my Arteza color, or my Pebeo colors here. So I've got Iridescent Blue Black, which will be great with the blue. And then I've got Iridescent Violet Blue, which will be the pink. And then Iridescent Green Blue, that'll be the green. And then for the gold, I've got the Iridescent Precious Gold. Now, I know there's purple in here, but we all know there's no iridescent purple in the Pebeo line. And I don't have a metallic purple. So I'm just going to have to leave that color out, unfortunately. But it is what it is. I think 4 colors will be really good anyway. So what we need to do is, obviously, you need squeeze bottles. These bottles I got here in Canada at Dollar Tree. If you go to Dollarama, you get these ones. And these are crap. These are no good. They are not really airtight. They're not very good bottles. So if you are in Canada, hit the Dollar Tree and get these ones. They are so much better. All right. So I've got 4 of these, and I'm going to tell you guys how to mix. Oh, I guess I need my scale. You need a scale. All right. So what it is 1 part paint, 1 part varnish, oh gosh, and 2 parts Mod Podge. Mod Podge. It's so weird. It's like a tongue twister. So 1 part paint, 1 part varnish, 2 parts Mod Podge. Anywho, so let's start. I'm going to put my cup on here. Now, it's easier to do it in the cup, stir it up, get it all mixed in really, really well, and then pour it into your bottle. So that is what I'm going to do. And I'm telling you, you need a lot of paint. Look, I have 2 bottles of each. So I want to fill up these bottles because when I did the blue piece, I only filled the bottles up to like yay high. Because again, I was being stingy with my Arteza. When I realized how much paint I was using, I was freaking out because again, I can't get Arteza very easily here in Canada at a decent price. So I didn't fill it up, and that's why I was running out when I was actually doing the blob. So this time, because I've got a plethora and plenty of Pebeo, I'm going to want to fill up my bottles. So 1 part, so I'm measuring in grams. So I'm going to, I guess I probably should have put the varnish in first. I'll do that the next one. I don't know. I'm going to do, let's do, I don't know, 50. I don't know. I've never done this before. I'm going to do 50 grams. $49, $50. Okay, 50 grams of paint to, of course, I'm going to reset my scale, and I'm going to put in 50 grams of varnish. or 53. Oh well, a little extra. I guess I could pour some in here for my next batch. Oh yeah, look at that. All right, so I'm gonna mix that up, and I can already tell I'm going to seriously need a lot more paint to fill these bottles up. So this is what I mean. It is really going to take a lot of paint to fill these bottles, which is why I'm not using my Arteza paints. Oh, it's so nice. Now, when you start to mix it, it's like really goopy, and it, you know, looks like it's not going to mix up really well, but it really did mix up very well. All right, so that is all mixed up. I'm going to reset my scale, and I'm going to add now 100 grams of this stuff. All right, now I'm telling you, personally, oh God, personally for me, this stuff stinks. I cannot stand, it's like this really strong smell of glue, and I cannot stand the smell. I said to Lee, I messaged him that one day, and I said, oh my gosh, this stuff stinks. And he's like, really? He's like, I love the smell. And I'm like, oh my God, I want to puke. I guess we have a difference in opinion of the smell of this. And when I went to Texas, and I was at his place where we had all kind of got there after we arrived in Texas, we all went to Lee's and Jeremy's house, and we were talking about it. And I said to him, you know, like, I can't believe you like the smell of that. And he's like, well, let me get you my bottle and see. Maybe you have like a bad bottle or something. And you know what? I just thought of something. You're supposed to shake this, I think. So I'm going to shake it. I probably should have shook it when I did that, but too late. All right, that's shook. That's heavy. All right, anywho, so he brings me out his bottle, and 100 grams. Okay, just making sure. And I smell it, and I gag, and he starts laughing, and I'm like, this stuff stinks. How on earth do you like the smell of that stuff? And he's like, oh, it's actually not bad. And I'm like, what? So I was like, no. And even right now, sniffing it, like, I guess it's just a preference, but I don't like the smell at all. It's a very strong smell. Not to deter you from wanting to do this, but it is a strong smell. It's a strong smell. And I personally, I'd rather sniff resin, which is bad for you. Yes, I know. I'm just saying, though, I can't stand the smell of this stuff. But anywho, so there you go. Now, of course, it has lightened up the color a little bit. But again, when it dries on your piece, all that stuff dries clear, right? The varnish, this stuff, all dries clear. So it'll bring the color back. See, I just did that. And I'm telling you, it's not even going to be enough to fill half the bottle, I bet you. Let's see here. All right, let's pour all this in here. Not even close to half a bottle, guys. Or maybe close, but not good enough. Oh, I got some on the rim of my squeeze bottle there. All right, so there you go. And that's all I got. So there's a lot more to go. So I'm going to add some more. I'm going to do more. And you don't really need to, what am I doing? I guess you don't really need to see me redo that. I'm probably going to do another batch, 50, 50, and 100. So I'm going to speed you guys up, and I'll be right back. All right, there you go, a full bottle. I actually got that thing full. So in hindsight, I don't even know how many ounces these bottles are, to be quite honest with you. Let's see. It doesn't say on the bottle. These ones are 8 fluid ounces. These ones here. So maybe these are, oh, actually I still might have the wrapper here in the garbage. I do. I do, and it doesn't say anything. How dumb is that? It doesn't say. It does not say how much this bottle holds. How dumb is that? Anywho, really stupid. So this is 8 fluid ounces. So I'm assuming this is probably like 12, I guess, because this one's also bigger, right? This one here is bigger. So anywho, but yeah, so I basically, I guess, essentially did 100 grams of paint, 100 grams of varnish, and 200 grams of the Mod Podge. So that filled up my bottle right to the top. All right. Now, Lee says it is best to keep the bottles upside down because it helps all the air bubbles travel to the top so that when you are squeezing your blob, you're not getting air bubbles, because trust me, when the air bubbles come out and they splatter, like, you know, when it, like that kind of thing. I don't even know what that was, but if you end up having an air bubble when you're doing your blob, it does leave like a silly mark. So I actually, what Lee does is he gets these plastic cups, and he'll cut the top or the bottom off of it, and he puts it, this one's obviously too small. I guess it would be like this one. Anywho, there was varnish in this. Oh, Kanella. I forgot I put varnish in that cup. Anywho. Oh boy, that's all right. Anywho, so yes, you're supposed to keep it upside down. That way the air bubbles travel to the top and you don't have air bubbles when you're doing your blobs. So I use these Dixie cups, and it works just fine, as you can see. So I will put these on my shelf. And this is why I don't want to do a million bottles of blob paint, because it's not something I'm going to do every day like I do Dutch pours. So I'll do a few bottles and I'll leave them like that. So that actually works. All right, so one color done. I'm going to put you guys on pause and I'm going to do my other 3 colors. So I shall be right back. All right, so I've got my colors all ready to go. That took a while. What a pain in the butt. And I've put them in these bigger cups so that they're sturdier. And so let's get started. I'm gonna first make sure there's no dust on this thing. So I'm gonna use my super duper soft microfiber cloth here to get all the dust off. All right, now there's no right or wrong how to do this. So I'm going to, now typically you should probably wait a couple hours or the next day before doing this so that the bubbles do get the chance to rise to the top. But quite frankly, I don't have all the time in the world. So I'm going to do it now. And then I have, you know, by the time I get to the next round, I can already see an air bubble there, which isn't the greatest, but it's going to be my first layer. So let's just give it a whirl. And I'm going to squirt, because I haven't squirted out of these bottles yet, I'm going to squirt a little first just to get that initial air bubble out. Oh, and these tips are a lot smaller than these ones. I just noticed that. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at the difference. So this should be interesting. All right, let's try it. So again, no right or wrong. I'm gonna start with a pink blob down here. Oh, I don't like the way that's coming out. Oh, I hope this isn't gonna be a problem. It's kind of like going to the side. I'm not sure I'm liking these bottles. What is up with that? I almost feel like this one is defective. Oh no! Well, that's no good. Oh, and by the way, make sure this is level. Has to be level. Something's wrong with this pink bottle. I'm just using my little skewer here to pop any air bubbles. This one, I can tell the hole in it is off. Yeah. All right, well, that's gonna be horrible, horrific. I feel like I should wipe that off and start again. I hope the other bottles aren't like that. Let me check. Nope, they're fine. So it's just this one. There's something wrong with the tip on this one. Well, that really is a bummer. So that sucks. I'm going to do it, but I got to do it carefully because I don't want to get any pink paint on the side here of my nice exposed wood. Yeah, the tip of this bottle is crooked. Of course, go figure. That's my luck. My luck. Just my luck. Oh, Kanella. Oh my goodness. What a bummer. It's okay. Good thing I, figured that out first before I did like a bunch of other blobs. Okay, I need to get another lid. Hold on. And I'm gonna squirt some rubbing alcohol just to clean off any of that varnish that just got stuck to the resin. There we go, good as new. And I have another tip, which seems to be the same problem. All right, well, it seems like this is what you get from the dollar store is crap. So I'm gonna take matters into my own hands here, and I'm going to cut this tip without cutting myself. So I'll be right back. Hold on. All right, so I just cut the tip with a pair of scissors. I was almost going to do it with an X-Acto knife, and then I thought, what am I doing? I'm going to cut myself. So I literally just took a pair of scissors and cut off the tip, and boy, does that make a really big difference. So I actually did it to all of them. So let's try this again. All right, let's try again, shall we? Again, shall we? Oh my gosh, this is like the worst tutorial. Oh yes, now we're talking. Okay, so that's so much better. Okay, so yeah, cut the tip. A bigger hole is better, obviously. So what I'm doing is I'm starting in the middle, and I'm literally just squeezing, and I'm keeping the tip of the bottle in the paint, not on top. I'm actually keeping the tip in there as I do that. So I'm gonna put that there, and let me do another one. Yeah, cutting the tips off of this was brilliant. Okay, so now let's do another one. Let's do, well, okay, I guess we're going over here because it started coming out of the bottle. So I'm keeping the tip in and I'm squeezing slowly. Okay, there we go. That's another one. And I'm going to pop that air bubble. And then you see how when I popped it, it left kind of like a divot? If you just kind of do that, it'll help the divot go away. Now, I don't know if Lee uses a torch. I never really paid attention, and I probably should have. But yeah, I don't know if a torch will pop the bubbles or not. So, all right, let's go right here in the middle. Oh, cutting these into a bigger hole is so much better. Oh yeah, I love it. That's such a pretty color. Okay, so I'm gonna put this now in here. I'm gonna pop this little bubble and this little bubble. I don't know about torching. I feel like there's so many different chemicals going on in here that maybe, oh, I did drip. So many different chemicals going on in here. Maybe it's not a good idea to torch it. Lee, if you're watching, feel free to comment. Okay. I didn't even notice I did that. All right, let's do some gold. How about right here? So you can see, again, my tip is in the paint. I'm not squeezing from up high. Okay. And I think I'm going to do another gold down here. All right. Now, as you can see, they're flattening. So you see how it starts off with quite the mound? It will flatten. And your blobs don't all have to be the same size, right? So they can be different sizes. So let's go with pink over here. Now, Lee likes to like literally cover the entire piece, like with all kinds, like even little blobs. Because I dripped. When did that happen? Or that happened before and I just noticed now. Goodness gracious. What was I saying now? I don't even know what I was saying. Oh goodness. I don't know what I was saying. Yeah, so now I know. Because I have, this background here, I want to, you know, part of the background to still show when I'm done. So I'm not going to fully cover this, I was gonna say canvas, but it's not a canvas, it's a wood panel. All right, and make sure you clean off your stick before you start popping bubbles in a different color, because you're gonna contaminate. All right. I guess a needle would probably be better because it's sharper and pointier. All right, so now I feel like I kind of mucked this up. I could do green down here. I did kind of muck this up. Whatever, it is what it is. Oh well. Oh well, I'll do it here. Just a smaller one. It doesn't matter that much because I can do different layers on top of it. So if I did pink next here, I could do like gold next on this one. So I'm going to do one more here. Like so. Should I add a bit more? And I just added a huge air bubble in there. So try not to do what I just did by stopping and then starting again. Because I just added a ridiculous amount of air bubbles. So this is why Lee says, you know, wait till the next day. All right, I'll let that flatten out. But this is looking great so far. So now, these are my initial blobs, and now what I can do, like big blobs, and now I can do smaller blobs somewhere in between. So I'm going to take my pink and do a small blob, like so, right there. And there's a lot of pink already. See, when I did the blue one, it like took me forever because I was like, where do I go next? What do I do next? Where should I put a blob next? Like, it was hard. It's kind of hard to figure out where you want to go next, you know? But again, there's no right or wrong way, so it doesn't really matter that much. I feel like gold should go up here. Let me do gold first. I feel like we're missing some gold up here. Okay. And then maybe some, like there's a big empty spot here, and it could really be any color because I've got all 4 colors here already. But I have, you see what I mean? Like I have green, green, and if I put the green here again, then I'm going to have green all over here again. I kind of should have done it a little differently, but it's kind of too late now. So it is what it is. I guess I could do green over here. And again, I'll switch it up with what color goes next. So that will help. I'll do a small blob of green. Like that, just small. And then I think we could do some pink here. Again, I don't like to overdo it. I want to be able to keep some of the background showing. All right, let's see. I've got 3 greens, 4 pinks, 3 golds, 3 blues. I think here I'm going to add the blue or black, whatever. Just a small blob. Like that. And green. I could put green here because there's no green up here. Yep, I could do that. Just a small one. Like that. And then let's see. So I've got 3 gold. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I've got 4 pink, 4 green, 4 blue. I don't have 4 gold. So I could do, no, I think I'm done actually. Like, I mean, I can't really put, I don't want to put green here and that's too close. So I think I'm good. Actually, no, I'm good. That's it. So this is, actually, this is really pretty. This is my first layer and they're flattening out so nicely. So, oh man, I'm so glad I cut the tips off of those bottles. That would have been a disaster. I would have been so disappointed. All right. Boy, I am a busy person with texting today. All right, pop that. I've got an air bubble here. Again, I'd rather pop these with my little skewer here than torch it, just in case the torch does something it's not supposed to do, right? Ah, this looks great. This looks so much better than my first attempt because my paints were so wonky. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry for 48 hours. After 24 hours, you'll feel it's hard to the touch, but if you kind of touch the center, you can feel it's a little soft because the majority of the paint is in the center. But I to be safe, I wait 48 hours. So I will be back in 2 days and we'll do our next layer. I'm excited. All right, I'll be back. All right, everybody. So it is 48 hours later and they're pretty dry to the touch. The center is still a bit soft, but I'm going to do the next layer anyway. And I realized after I did the first layer and I was editing part of the video that you guys couldn't see anything I was doing when I was squeezing on. So I've put you guys at this really interesting, low level, almost flush, you know, view here. That way you can see how I do the second layer. So that way you get a little bit of a better idea. All right. And then I'll show you guys what it looks like from top view when I'm done the second layer. So I'm going to start, I guess it doesn't really matter where I start. And I kept the bottles upside down. Oh, and by the way, I did speak to Lee and he says, yes, torch, torch, torch. You can absolutely torch and it's fine to torch it. So not a problem there. All right. So I've got this big turquoise. I'm going to do pink on this one. And if you hear any beeping in the background, that is Lucas. He is playing his PlayStation here in the basement. So don't mind the beeping. All right, I'm going to do that much because it's going to flatten itself out and you don't want to overdo it. I may have overdone it. I don't know. But you don't want to go too much because then it's just going to end up covering your initial circle. So we'll see how that one turns out. But yes, Lee said you can definitely torch. So I could get my torch and I guess torch it. But oh, I guess it did kind of pop some of the bubbles there. All right, but then you can also burn it because it left like a film on top of that right now. So I kind of don't I don't want to do that. All right, so now I think I'm going to put gold on this blue one. So I'm hoping you can kind of see at least a little bit better. And the key is to go right in the center of the circle. And as, I don't know if you can see, I really hope you can see this, but I'm keeping the tip in the center. I don't know if you can see that. And I think, although Lee said we can torch, I think I'm going to stick to popping the bubbles. All right, next, let's do blue on this one. I really hope with this angle you can actually see something a little better, maybe get a better view, I hope. All right, so this is already flattening out really nicely. Now, since this one is gold and I put blue on top, this one's gold, so let's do turquoise on top. Let's do that. All right, turquoise, nice and slow. Kind of know when to stop. You don't want to put too much that it's going to end up flattening out and going past your original blob. So, Lucas, you want to say hi to everybody? He's so enthusiastic. Listen, he's so enthusiastic. All right. So now we've got a pink blob and I can do a turquoise on top of this one. So let's do turquoise here. All right. Again, keeping the tip in the blob as I squeeze. And we'll do that. Pop those little bubbles. I think popping them with this is just so much better. It really left a film on the pink one when I torched it. So I'm not sure about that one. All right, so I've got a pink blob here. So in this pink blob, I added turquoise or the green. So on this pink blob, I think I'm gonna do gold. Let's do gold. Actually, this one you should be able to see perfectly. So this will be a great example. Again, nice and slow, keeping the tip in the blob as I squeeze. And that's it. So that'll flatten out. Oh, these are flattening out really well. Okay, so now I have a blue blob. So I have a blue blob here and I did gold. So I have a blue blob here. So I've done two turquoise, pink, blue, and gold. So because I have a lot of gold here, I think my only other option is, what can I do here? Let's see. I could do pink. Yeah, because I've already done blue and gold. And there's blue and gold here. So I can do pink. Yeah, I guess I could do pink. Can I do pink? Pink or turquoise? No, I'm going to do turquoise. I'm going to do turquoise. Yeah, that's going to look nice. All right, so another close view for you to see what I'm doing. Nice and slow. Tip staying in the blob. And just know when to stop. That should be good. Pop some of these bubbles that I didn't pop. If you have like a pin, it will probably be easier and better to pop the bubbles with a pin. That was a big one. I'm just going to, there we go. Okay, now what do we got? We've got a turquoise blob here. I've got lots of pink happening, so I think I'm going to do a dark blue blob on this one. Dark blue, yeah, I'm going to do dark blue. some dark blue. Okay, dark blue. And then when I'm done all of this, I'll show you guys the bottles. Like you guys saw, they were full to the top. And I'm already like halfway, well, actually, yeah, look. Can you see? So here's the pink bottle, and it's down to, hold on, here. So this is all empty already. So, you know, by the time you're done like 3 or 4 layers, it's definitely going to be close to the bottom. All right, so I've got lots of gold happening here. I have a blue blob here. I have blue and turquoise or green, call it whatever you want. I guess I could do pink on this one, I guess. Well, pink, lots of gold. I could do turquoise, or I'll do pink. Yeah, let's do pink. Pink blob. Okay. Ah! My phone fell. See, this is what happens when I don't have it on a tripod. I have to have it so low to the table, my tripod doesn't go that low. Sorry, folks. My phone fell. Okay, I've got a blue blob here. I can do... It was going really well until everything started falling apart. All right, I'll do turquoise here. Turquoise blob. Okay, turquoise blob. All right, so let me show you guys from a top view now. All right, so this is what it looks like. Top view, so you can see the original blob I did really flattened out, and they're all flattened out. And here, let me tell you something not to do. Do not do. Do you see that right here? Right there? So those 2 blobs ended up touching after the first layer, and I was so disappointed. And I tried to fix it, and I kind of mucked it up. So don't touch it. Don't do what I did. Do not touch it. Just let it be. If they touch, it is what it is. Too bad, so sad. Just leave it, because now I'm really disappointed in myself for that. So I want to show you guys. See these little air bubbles? Just pop them like so. Little swoosh like that, and there you go. Kind of hard to do that while holding a camera. All right, so second layer is done. I'll be back in 48 hours. All right, it's been another 48 hours and a little soft to the touch in the center, but I'm going to keep going. And this is probably going to be the last round. We'll see, but I think. Obviously, I'm going to speed you guys up through this process. You don't need to see me do the same thing over and over again. So let's get started. All right, so we've got layer number 3, and something I realized, things I learn every time I do this, make sure you check the tips of your bottles when you start using them and make sure there's no goop or dried paint, because that is what happened to my first blob, and there was goop coming out of the nozzle, and it was blobbing crookedly. If that makes any sense. The paint was coming out crooked from the spout of the tip of the bottle. So I had to kind of play with it, and I have a feeling this is going to flatten out more, and I'm going to lose this edge here, unfortunately. But yeah, things you learn as you're doing it. But so far so good, and I'm really loving it, and I'm gonna debate whether I do a 4th layer on the bigger ones. I think I'm gonna leave the little ones. Actually, no, I know I'm gonna leave the little ones as is, but I may put 1/4 and final blob on top, and then that's it. Because there's 4 colors, so it would be cool to see gold, green, blue, and pink on top, green in this one, blue, and so on and so forth. So we'll see. I'll be back. All right, everybody, last round. So I'm basically going to put the 4th color on top of each of the big blobs. The little blobs will stay as is. So I'm going to speed you guys up during this process. And there it is. It is done. So let me bring you guys in for a close-up, and I'll tell you guys my do's and don'ts. Alrighty, so obviously this last layer is going to need to dry. However, the painting or blob painting, call it whatever you want, is done. So do's and don'ts. Don't touch it if it ends up touching and you're trying to fix it. Don't try and do that. Don't over blob, because then you end up with this covering your second blob or whatever layer, and that's not good either. So that's another thing I learned today. Do clean out your tips before you start, because that's what happened with the green blob. It was coming out crooked because there was paint boogers in the tip of my bottle. Those are the 3 main things that I learned from doing this blob this time around. But overall, considering this is only my 2nd ever attempt, and you know what? I thought, oh yeah, you know, let me move this. I thought, oh, this is easy, looks easy. You just blob some paint. Actually, it's not that easy. There's a little bit of skill involved. So give it a go, you know, try it and see how much fun you have with it. But yeah, these blobs will flatten out a little bit, and I'm starting to think maybe this green one is too much too now. See, you're probably better off doing less just to be on the safe side. This one looks pretty good. See, pretty even all the way around. But I'm actually really happy with it, and I'm really loving the background. I love the celly look of all the resin background there. So there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you learned. Give it a go. Give it a try. So I'll show you. These are my bottles, and this is how much is left. So there's still quite a bit left, which is great because, you know, I can do more. So not so bad. You can see they're like, the pink is less. No, actually, it's pretty much the same. Yeah, I'd say it's pretty much the same. But yeah, so these bottles are really good. So there you go. Let me know if you guys have any questions below. I'll do my best to answer. Let me know what you guys think about this piece in the comments below. It is available for purchase if anyone who's interested. I call this a tester, which means anything that I do that is me testing something out and trying something new, it's got a discounted price. So yeah. If you're interested, email me, kanellaciraco@gmail.com. That is it for me for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this blob painting. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Have a good night. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.